hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears.
We'll go back. It's not new. That podcast song has been out. How long have I had that podcast song? I think that's been by the way, my girlfriend's a piano teacher. She is now playing my podcast on the piano. I would bring the microphone in there, but maybe I'll okay. Learn the song, and then we'll release you playing it on piano. Okay? Okay? She's playing it. Druckenmiller's been doing well, but her major labor data. Hey, listen, my last name's Vaughn too. I got the extra A. Okay, I got everything. I got everything that I need here. I mean, I got a long freaking show. So, it's going to be a long one today. I think maybe I'll go an hour. I mean, usually when I think I'm going to have a short one, it turns out, morning, Jacob, it turns out to be a long one. Morning, Victor, morning, Mark. It always turns out to be a long one. Whenever I think it's going to be short, it turns out to be long. So, I think you're playing the lyric part. She's playing the lyric part. Celestica, dirt cheap AI stock. I got to get into this one. we're going to copy that. CLS. This is on my watch list. Tomorrow, just so everybody knows, tomorrow, D-Man had a good question. Next pod, you should talk about how you treat your watch list, your process of your watch list. I think you have never talked about it in detail. It would be a good insight. So, I'm debating, is that a paid newsletter? I might tease it as a freebie and then go into more detail for the paid subs. Because I think it's all process driven, but my process might not be your process. Now the question that I have is, does this, okay, this screen looks okay, doesn't it? Let me see. Did I move my damn, my browser? I'm looking at the live version. I have the DVR, so it's behind. I just want to see the chart real quick. Okay, yeah, the chart's the most important. Because honestly, the news stories you can read from the newsletter. I don't care how they show up on, but the chart is kind of what I want to. Morning, Peter. Okay, let's do some scans. By the way, that was impressive. Okay. I like when you do stuff like that. You know what you need to do is when I start going dun 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 dun, dun start playing that on piano. I'm not talking to myself. There's somebody else in the room. Just so you know, and it's not Penny. Oh, let me see. I'm going to at the beginning of today's show, you will see this. This is intentional, Gary. That's going to be the okay, we got to talk. Because there is a lesson that I need to teach folks. About observations. QQQX. Let's just say income ETFs. And I need to do a lot of work on some of these watch lists that I share. Not a lot, but I do need to update them. CHRD, SHF, FANG, leveraged ETFs. TBT. TBT. And AAPD. Apple down. Is Apple down? It's down 0.65. I mean, it's coming off those 230 levels. That's low cost Vanguard. Nothing there. Spider sectors, we had two yesterday. XLE and XLU, if I remember right. Had a question. I got, let's see, we're going to have story time at the end because somebody asked me, why do you live in Georgia? You could do this anywhere in the world. So, story time. Somebody asked me about Micron, so we'll go over Micron. Let's see. Education, diversification, taught to you via Buffett. I've always kind of abided by his view on diversification. I agree with him. If you're going to buy 50 stocks, why not just buy the number one stock? He's talked about how he's put like 50, 60% of his money into one stock before. Wow, two Dow stocks. We're going to go to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ 100. FANG. ISRG, Intuitive Surgical, Regeneron. Let's go to the S&P. S&P. Visa, Adobe, Nextera Energy, Duke, Abbott. Is NE getting ready to take off again? Huh. I'm going to be heading up there to the previous highs. 89. Let's go back to the strategy tester and go into the 4-hour. NEE. Ooh, that's been a nice run from 72, and it just MACD reset. You haven't had the golden cross yet, but that's pretty strong resistance on the weekly right there. Since 2021, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you had this one at 80. That would be where I would put my resistance, my stop loss at 80 from 85. Because you're buying at 85. So you're buying at 85. Your stop loss is at 80 and your target's 90. So, man, it's risk reward 1 for 1. What do you want? Hold on. I'm going to be right back. I'm not putting you down. Hold on. We need another bet. She took your bet. We'll get you a bet. Okay. Did she take your bet? I'm so sorry she took your bet. I apologize. I didn't bring 2 in. Do you want to go under? Or you want to lay on top? Okay. On top. Come on. Do not cry because you want one bet over the other. Now, you can see the dog down there. That's what she was crying for. We're going to bring it back around. We're going to start tracking us. There we go. You got a shot of the dogs too. Okay. So we're going to look at, I think Micron. Did Micron have a news story? I mean, I just hop onto Seeking Alpha and I see like 10, 20 different things that I could look at. We can put this in. I'm going to put this in as the has okay. We're gonna go over there. Let's see if there's anything on FinViz that I need to know about. Insiders. Oof. Southwest Airlines with big buys. Big buys. Wow. Director. I mean, look at that. 35 million, 20 million. And then what? Another, God, I'd say 40 million, 50 million. Wow. Wow. So he bought back in 2013. That's how bad airlines are. You buy back in 2013 for $39, and what, 11 years later, you're trading at $29? Oh, no, he bought KMX. That was back in 2013. So just in 2024, he must have just become a director. Let's see. There is news story. Oh, he was appointed. Yeah, $100 million of stock. He was added Southwest board in July following LA management's push. In response to the pressure, Southwest recently announced several major changes. Despite this, Elliott continues. Reuters Gangwal expressed concerns about further disruptions in Southwest leadership, stating that more changes would be counterproductive and detrimental to shareholders. He stressed that beyond the steps already announced, Okay. Interesting. Let's see if Seeking Alpha has the same story. You know what? I'm not going to bring it up. I mean, it's up 1.8%. I mean, you can buy it for what that dude bought $100 million worth, but do you want it? It's not making money, trading at 66 times future earnings. Its revenues growing 7% per year. I think there's better places to put your money, but I don't have $100 million that I'm going to spend. If I did, I probably wouldn't put it into Southwest. If you got $100 million and you make 10%, that's $10 million. So he probably thinks, hey, 10% from 30 to 33, it's not hard to move that stock, with just some changes. So I don't think it's a bad one. But okay, we're going to go into the Qs, and then I'm going to open up all the links. So first link is going to be the Micron stuff. Second link is going to be about diversification with Buffett. Just a quote. Celestica. I like that one. I know we have a Hims fan. Morning, Donnie. I know there's a Hims fan out there. That's bad news for that. QQQM. This is a good analysis for Macro Girl. She doesn't have that many followers on here, but I thought it was interesting how she kind of says that, hey, the NASDAQ might have some problems. She just started QQQM, and it's on that one. I thought that was interesting. OpenAI just took over SpaceX as the most valuable U.S. private company. We'll talk about AI because there are some things. NVIDIA, just insane. And if you want to watch the clip, I got the clip for you. It's 1:10. It was during their announcement with Accenture. 5 names, 6, maybe 7 that I'm looking forward to. I was on Spaces yesterday, and I'll talk about those. I thought Brad put this one perfectly. If you're mocking Amazon for the number of people that are considering leaving due to the 5-day work week in person, FYI, that's the goal, is to get them to quit. Top 10 stocks from the Seeking Alpha Quant. Oil's back under 70, so we'll look at UCO. FXI was the most traded option yesterday. So most actively traded options in the entire market, topping SPY. That's huge. I mean, that's big. And we've got people just chasing 6K, chasing 6,000. So that's the show, and a ton of charts and stuff like that. Morning, Andres. Oh, God. Okay, hold on. My pants are sticking to me. Good news is, in Atlanta, I don't smell the chlorine smell. Not that I smelled it before, but I don't smell it, so, okay. I'm going to hit record. Good morning. It is Thursday, October 3rd. Hopefully you can hear this. Now, to start the show, we're going to have real talk. We're going to have real talk because I got another complaint from the same YouTube viewer who says that I talk too fast. She said before, your show is unorganized. Now she's saying I talk too fast and I need to put the name of the symbols on the chart because I talk too fast. FYI, the theme song was just less than 30 seconds. The quote in the theme song, sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. The newsletter is free. I don't need freaking charts on here. All of the stuff that I talk about, it's in the newsletter. It's free right here. So if you're following the show, and yes, she was watching the taped, it's basically the live version. Remember, I have 2 YouTube things every day. I do the live where I interact with people live, and you can watch the replay of that, or you can watch the shortened version, which I link in the newsletter. Now, what's the perfect way to do this? The perfect way to do this is to watch this on YouTube and then have a second screen. Have your phone. Watch the YouTube on a TV. Watch the YouTube on an iPad. Or watch the YouTube in the corner of your MacBook and then just follow along, because everything that I go over is down here. Okay, everything I go over is down here with links. Everything. So you don't need to tell me to put stuff on. This is the real stuff. Oh, I wasn't showing you the damn newsletter. This is the newsletter. Everything that I go over is here. Everything. So listen to the song. The song's not just there because it's a catchy tune. I included lyrics. It's not even something that's hidden. Sign up for the newsletter. Let us help you grow. And it says us, but it's just me. I was on with Substack yesterday, and they said, hey, have your technical team reach out. I don't have a technical team. It's just me. So I apologize that I'm misorganized. I apologize that I talk too fast. But overall, I give you the tools that you need. It's not like I'm not giving you something. So that was real talk. That's it. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but the link, again, I had somebody reach out yesterday on Instagram, on my personal Instagram, which I don't mind. You can Google me and it'll come up. But the reality of this, down below, look below me, okay? Below me on the screen. Every platform other than Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts is the only one that doesn't have a video. But everything else has a video. Down below, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. So this is real talk. It's right here. Everything that you need to find, whether it's Substack, whether it's YouTube, whether it's X or a Twitter, Voss, Vase, Tomato, whatever you want, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Apple Podcasts, whether it's the private Facebook group, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitch, whether it's Threads, whatever, I'm there. So again, everything is either on the screen, in the newsletter, but the tools are there for you. That's real talk. Let's get into stocks. We're going to go over, is 6K too high for the S&P? FXI. This is the China ETF that I thought was really good. Most traded option yesterday. We'll go into some weakness in China today. Oil is at $70 a barrel. The top 10 quant stocks. 3 warehouse plays, just in case this port stuff goes too long. People may be worried about the people leaving at Amazon. We'll talk about that one. 6 stocks that I think are really good coming up in earnings season that maybe you could trade. NVIDIA, we'll talk about that. Huge news yesterday. AI front, Microsoft redid their Copilot. We'll talk about AI with Meta and what Microsoft did yesterday, QQQM. There might be some HIMSS fans. FYI, Lilly came out with something yesterday. Celestica. Then we'll go on to some of the reports. Okay, Qs. Yesterday, we lost some confirmation here on the 9-day. Okay, there's a green line. I'll post this chart. It's in the 4-hour algorithm. You can see the MACD's turning over. You can see the RSI's at 52. It's come down. I said we might have some weakness. We've seen some weakness. Now in pre-market, you're down 0.3. It's just kind of fluttering. On the weekly, where are we on the weekly on the Qs? We still have confirmation. The candle doesn't look great. It doesn't look super strong, but we still have confirmation. Your RSI's at 57. Your MACD's coming down. It looks like the MACD for this week may go up. That will point to further bullishness. Okay? Further upside. If the MACD goes up on the weekly, it means the longer term chart you have, the more validity to actually sustain the rally. So we talked about quarterly. Look at quarterly. The MACD is way up here. You know, the RSI is at 74. We have to pull back at some point. Probably not now. You know, in the 4-hour one, yeah, you're just looking for entries in this. So we can talk about SPY. We can talk about Goldman Sachs yesterday. Rubner, RUBN. I never heard of this dude, but I am bullish on U.S. equities for a year-end rally starting on October 28th. I am worried that my 6K target is too low. Nobody knows. October 28th, that's after earnings season. I think you're going to start to see stuff. We'll talk about earnings, but 6K, when you look at SPY and we go to 6K, we talked about in the short term. Let's look at SPY here. You've lost confirmation. Looks like it's pulling back. Where's your support level? Probably from these previous all-time highs at 565. You're trading at 568, 567 in pre-market. Okay. There's a gap down here at 543. He's saying October 28th because everybody seems to agree that there's the potential with earnings season coming up that we see some type of reversion back. And then you have maybe the port ends, maybe the Middle East is solved, maybe the election gets a little more clear after October 28th, maybe things get ironed out, maybe some of the political stuff gets ironed out, and a year-end rally, not crazy, but if you're buying in the 560s, I don't care that it's trading at 567 right now. If you want to time this thing and you're looking at SPY, do it on a shorter time frame. If you're looking at a longer time frame, if you're buying right now for next October, the difference between 565 and 567 is $2. Don't let it stop you from adding. You know, maybe go in half, identify your position size. If you want to buy $10,000 worth of this, add $1,000 today. It's Thursday, it's not Friday. Add $1,000 today. As we start to go down, add another $1,000, okay? Identify your time frame and just go out there. Don't let $2 stop you from getting into this market because I think most people agree we will end the year higher than we are today. Now, that may be the curse of death. When you start to buy a stock and you see it go down, it might be the curse of death. Maybe you want to invest in China. We've been going over China. FXI, yesterday, this is from Gunjan from the Wall Street Journal. FXI was the most actively traded stock option yesterday, topping SPY. That's crazy. That is crazy. FXI calls were the most actively traded options in the entire market, topping SPY. China, might be time to get into that one. Today, it seems to be pulling back. You're at 34.22. You're down 3.5%. You got gaps all the way over this. All the way over this. I would say anything below 33, I think that's a buy. In my mind, I think they're giving you a buy. Look at this, okay? Right now, 32 is that 200-day. 32 is the 200-day on the weekly. If we go to a daily and we look at the 200-day, the 200-day is down here at 25. I don't think an economy that's putting that much money into stimulus for companies to buy back stock, I don't think that we're getting back down to 25. Do I know for sure? No. Just like the guy from Goldman Sachs doesn't know that we're going to, October 28th is the pullback. You don't know. You're just trying to use some educated knowledge there. That's it. But I do think FXI, today's weakness in China is a gift. Okay. You want to know what else is a gift? UCO. UCO. And the reason UCO is a gift, we're back over $70 on oil. And if you ever want to check out the oil price, go to FinViz. This one's free. You can go down here just to the bottom left. Okay. Crude oil, $71. And you can take a look at the crude oil chart. This just tells you what WTI trades for. Okay. $71. I think we're looking at a little bullish here. Again, with the Middle East, I think UCO, which is a triple levered Bloomberg crude oil price, it's not one that you want to trade on a shorter time frame. Okay, 4 hour might make you some gains here. It actually loses you money over 2 years, so just be careful. The 65-minute algorithm that I have in Trendspider, though, you can trade this one. Just got you in right now at 26.70. This one over 8 months. Okay, 8 months. it makes you 14.5% versus if you just bought this 8 months ago, you make 1.3%. I would never suggest holding something like this for 8 months. Okay, but we're in Middle East time frame. This is a gift. $70. I think you're going to look at this one coming back up to 30. It's a 27. That could be a nice 10% gain. You have confirmation 26.70 on the 65 minute. And by the way, you don't just get the 4-hour algorithm when you sign up for Trendspider. You get the 65 minute as well. How do you do that? You go over to Linktree. We went over it just now. Linktree is down below. It's this top link, Trendspider. You get to this page, $53 a month, okay? It is the tool that I give you is the 4-hour and the 65 minute to trade on it. You can do it as a bot. I don't suggest you do it as a bot. I suggest you actually watch it because there's things that you want to watch. But I do suggest that you trade this one because, again, oil is going to be volatile. UCO is the bullish. SCO is the bearish. So you can trade those two back and forth. I like that one, okay? Which S&P 500 stocks are the best positioned for Q4? You can take a look at this. This is all the S&P stocks that based on the quant. Number 10, General Motors. Number 9, PayPal. Number 8, Arch Capital. All of this stuff is there for you, okay? PayPal, we can go over PayPal. Look at that one. They're saying it's best positioned for Q4. You can't the momentum in this one is huge, huge. Their earnings are coming up on October 28th. Maybe that's what the dude at Goldman was talking about. This is a good one. This is a turnaround one. We talk about good companies with good products, with good profits and good management. The good management part was missing from this. It's now in there with the CEO. I think he's doing a very good job. And am I going to get back into this one? Probably not, but you can see the 50-day, the Bollinger Bands expanding out. You're trading on top of the 9-day. This is a weekly chart, and the Bollinger Bands are out there. The MACD, not extended. It's right on the oscillator. The RSI, a bit extended at 67. So it is a little bit overbought. But in reality, if they announce that they're actually making money and they're moving, that's a good one. We can look at GM, which was the number 10. You know, if you want to see all 10, you can see all 10. But if you look at a weekly on GM, this one just is getting a golden cross where the 50-day is crossing the 200-day. If you're buying at 44, put your stop loss at 42 because that was the old resistance. And the hope is that that 42 holds up as support. It has so far. It broke down here. Guess what time? During August 5th, which was the Japanese unwind trade. That's the only time it's broken through there. So if you want to buy it at 44 and you think a year-end rally is into this one, this is not an extended stock. We can go and look at GM right now. It's not extended. It is part of it. The quant has it as a super strong buy. Its valuation, A+. It's trading at 4 times earnings. 4. You know, its PEG ratio is 0.41. The growth, not bad. 4.93%. The sector's growing at 2%. You know, their levered free cash flow, yes, it's a problem, but they are buying back so much stock that the potential is this one continues to run. You can look at the summer year to date. This one's up 24%. 6 months, it's down 0.16. So you're just pulling back to where you were 6 months ago. You know, 1 month, this one's down 10%. But again, when you look at this one and we look at the 4-hour, when you look at the 4-hour algorithm, it makes you 26%. Okay? It has you out right now. Put this on a watch list. Put it on a watch list. Buy it at 44 or put it on a watch list and buy it when the algorithm tells you to get in. Okay? But that's the top 10 stocks. Now, some warehouse plays. I'm going to put in the newsletter warehouse plays. For the port shutdown, there were 3 presented on CNBC by somebody last night. And I didn't do the research on these, so do your own research. But the first one is LINE. This is Lineage. And this one is cold storage. So this one took off during the pandemic. It really did well during that time. But you can see it has you out. That one is a little bit tough. If we go and look at this one, LINE. Again, this is cold storage. We can look. It's a $19 billion market cap. Doesn't look great. Quant says hold. Valuation's an F. Let's see why they're not making money. Okay, their growth, though, they're growing operating cash flow 58%. Dividend per share, 24%. But again, it was just presented to me. TRNO. And TRNO is one with Torreno Realty Corporation. This one is parking for trucks. Okay? It's gone down. It's gone down. Don't know if it's going to go back up, but it's parking for their trucks. TRNO is the second one that I'm going to present to you. TRNO, if we go and look at the quant on this one, it's a hold as well. Now, 1 year, it's up 16%. Year to date, it's up 3%. It's not as bad as the other one. But again, this is a real estate kind of REIT. So it's a REIT. I don't like REITs, but this is a REIT. And the largest one of the group is PLD. This is Prologis. This one is an interesting one because they have a market cap that I would be interested in, $116 billion. Their dividend forward dividend is 3%, which isn't bad. It's a hold in the quant, and the reason is the valuation. You know, it's trading at 44 times earnings. The sector is trading at 38 times earnings. But their growth isn't bad. You know, 9% revenue growth year over year. So again, those are three REITs that would play into this. PLD, I think it's on a weakness. Let's see how the algorithm performs on this one. The algorithm makes you 34%. Buying and holding makes you 16%. So wait for the algorithm to get in. Again, your 200 days moving positive. So if we look at a weekly on this one, you've had a nice pullback. It's just kind of hanging around there on the 2% on that 200 day. So those were three that I thought were interesting. Now, Brad Freeman put this perfectly. Amazon is one. If you go over here and you look at Amazon, there was a news story yesterday about Amazon reportedly to show more ads on, heavily invested in AI. Watch these stocks as unions. There was a report yesterday that Amazon is going to, 75% of Amazon employees are going to quit because of the 5-day work week. Brad put this one perfectly. If you're mocking Amazon for the number of people considering leaving due to the 5-day in-person work week, you don't understand why they made the decision. Voluntary quitting isn't a negative impact. It's the goal. Remember when we talked about Amazon during, and you may not be that long of a listener, but during 2021, then when they were hiring during 2020 to deliver goods in like an hour to you, and they were hiring and the stock was going up. And then all of a sudden, Andy Jassy takes over in 2021, and they've got too many employees. That's where they are today. And the reason they have too many employees today is because of AI. Because of AI. Now, on this weekly, clearly, you can see this trend line that goes up here. We're down below it. We're down below for a good reason. The good reason is Jeff Bezos is going to sell every time it goes to 200. But for a long-term buy, I think Amazon is one of the best that you can buy. If we look at Wall Street, this one is heavily covered. 62 analysts cover it, okay? The average price target is $220. That's a 19.26% upside. That's huge. The valuation is crazy, absolutely nuts. 44 times trailing earnings, 39 times forward earnings. But the peg, when you factor in growth, trailing, it's 0.19. Forward, 1.77. So their growth is super important. They're growing revenues 12% year over year. They're going to charge more for advertising. In my mind, this is a no-brainer long term. Now, from the algorithm standpoint, you make 19.8%. If you just bought and held 2 years ago, you're up 58%. The algorithm just got you out with a nice 2% gain. Again, you're in the positive side. It's not optimized. But when you see an ad in this one, add to it. That would be my guess. Now, I was on Spaces yesterday, okay? And I was going over, they said, which stocks are you excited about going into earnings? There's a few. I'll give you them right now, and I'll summarize it so you don't have to go looking for that Spaces recording. Citigroup. Citigroup has a book value of $99. I was taught whenever I traded, some financials, and I don't do it much. If you trade below book value, buy the bank. Now it's trading at 62. The algorithm makes you 50.1%. Buying and holding makes you 42.9. I would argue that 69 is a resistance level. Will it get back up there? You're kind of hanging around that 200 day. You got a gap down below. You got this golden cross. I would argue this one looks good heading into earnings. Another one that I think is interesting with earnings is SMCI. We took that out of the core portfolio. I haven't sold it. I said yesterday, hey, or Wednesday, maybe it was Tuesday, that old resistance, see how it's bouncing up to that red line? That's a trend line. That old resistance turned into support. Look at how it bounced off that trend line. Okay, it's not perfect, but you can use that trend line as the future. Is that the future? Well, on 10/31, they have their earnings. They might delay it. We don't know what the 10K even holds. They've delayed it. The NASDAQ said you may get delisted. We don't know about their earnings. This one, super interested because their guidance last time, they had a record quarter last quarter. And look at where the stock went. A record quarter, and it went down because of margins. And they said we're going to get the margins in line. If the margins are even close to in line, this one's probably back to a $60 stock. So it's interesting. Again, what are you interested in? That's one that I'm interested in. Another one that I'm interested in is Meta. Okay, I want to see how much they're spending versus the advertising. If you're on any of the Instagram, Facebook, Threads, any of that stuff, they're starting to run political advertising. I think the political advertising started to come in last quarter. That's what they're going to be saying. Now, how much did they spend? Because we know he was on stage with Jensen Huang. He's continued to say, Jensen is my best friend. I can't get enough of these chips. Is he buying Blackwell? Interesting stuff. I mean, again, I love this stock. I think they continue to print money. I think this was one of the best. I said buy it under 500. I think you buy it under 600 at this point because I think their earnings might point to that good of growth. The algorithm probably is going to have you out in the next few days. Am I buying it now? No, I'm probably waiting for it to pull back to that 540. Are you going to have a chance between now and October 30th to buy it at 540? I don't know. If it's long-term, just buy it today at 569. Just buy it. But if it's short-term, I would wait for that 4-hour. The 4-hour algorithm makes you 180 to 80% over 24 months, okay? If you just bought and held, you made 315%. So I would look for an entry that you're comfortable with, but Meta is one that I think is interesting. The other one that's interesting, Tesla. Again, I may be talking my book because these are all core portfolio. Tesla deliveries, very much sell the news. Gene Munster was 100% right. They've had a crazy resistance at 260. 6 times over the last couple of years. 260, boom, pull back. They need FSD. They need robots. They need solar. They need AI to make the valuation of this company make sense. Okay? They need just one of those to work out. If one of them works out, 260 is a freaking bargain. 260 is a freaking bargain. So again, if you like that stock, if you like the car, go ahead and buy it. Palantir, valuation is crazy, but do not put it past CARP. Their earnings are October 30th. Do not put it past their CEO to say to a reporter, hey, is that a pager? Yeah, we blew that shit up. I still like this to pull back to the low 30s, and I think that's the opportunity. Look at the gap here. You know, gaps are like old men in short shorts at the pool. They spread their legs while they're sitting there on the lawn chair, and then once they realize it, they cross their legs. Okay, you can see the testicles hanging out. You can see the little dingleberries. You don't want to see that. Gaps need to be covered. Gaps will be covered. Are you getting this gap down here at 24 covered? That might be a little bit difficult. But I do think this gap down here at 30 gets covered. I think that's where you start adding to it. Now, Apple will be hugely important to me. But I also find it interesting. Again, October 31st. At 30 times earnings, this one's risky. But the ecosystem, I ain't getting rid of it. Okay, here's my take. Let me see where in my show I'm going to do this. No, we'll go into the take. Well, you know what? We'll go into the take now. So here's my take on AI, and we'll go over Microsoft and Meta in a little bit. But Apple, my take on AI right now is if you're not using it, it's because it's not convenient. And the reason it's not convenient is because it's not front and center in front of you, and you need to go find AI. Okay? Apple is going to put it front and center in 2 billion people's hands. They're going to put it front and center. You will have it as part of Siri. You will have it part of your daily life. It will learn you individually and live on your phone. Okay? That's the benefit that Apple Intelligence has. It's going to be one of the part of the ecosystem that you get your MacBook, you have your Apple Watch, you have your iPad, you have your Mac Mini, you have your iMac, you have your Mac ecosystem, and you have your Apple stuff. And it's going to learn you. And that's the benefit that Apple has. They're going to suck you in. And essentially, you're going to need to buy that iPhone 16 to get that. You're going to need to get the 17 next year. There's a reason they're doing an update to the SE early next year, because the SE phone is going to be the entry into the Apple Intelligence ecosystem. I think that's what they're going to guide you. And I think they're going to take the guidance higher. And I think they've been buying the stock while Buffett has been selling it. Again, it's a cash generation machine. There's the stocks that I presented on Spaces yesterday. I think they're all interesting. I think they all heading into that stuff. Now, I was watching this yesterday. This is the interview with Jensen Huang announcing a partnership with Accenture. The headline, and I'll just show you the demand for Blackwell is insane. He puts it right out there. Okay, this man has earned the right for us to believe him, because he said many times before that the NVIDIA demand is strong. He hasn't lied. They've blown it out for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 quarters. They've blown it out. Look at this price target. Okay, look at how Wall Street has chased this up. They haven't brought it down. It's still 150. That's a 26% upside. He said demand for the new stuff is strong. He also laid out the guide that we're still in the beginning of AI, and that they're growing their ecosystem. They are going to become the Apple of AI. Okay, you won't have an NVIDIA device in front of you. You won't have an NVIDIA chip at your house. But those mega scalers are going to need it so that the device that you have in your hand actually works. And they're going to monetize that. So the first portion of this, we talk about picks and shovels. That's going to be NVIDIA. Now, at some point, NVIDIA is going to, have too much. We're going to have too much compute power and not enough application for it, because nobody can monetize it. It's not the point yet. It's not at that point. NVIDIA with Blackwell, it's the next step. It's taking it to video. So I like NVIDIA. I like it a lot. I think you can buy it. I think you can hold it. It's one of those that I've built up into a mainstay in my portfolio. It's not the largest, but it is one that's up there. Now, let's talk about Microsoft and OpenAI. OpenAI just overtook SpaceX as the most valuable U.S. private company. That's how big AI is. And if you have an iPhone, okay, I don't know about Google. I don't know about Android stuff because I don't have a Google in my house. We're just not that type of people. We don't like green bubbles. We're Apple people. But the reality of it is, download the Microsoft Copilot app. They just changed it, okay? It is now like an assistant. Look for them to integrate Copilot into much more of an assistant. I played Seinfeld trivia with the app last night. It gave me questions. It was fantastic. It was super easy, like a friend, like a conversation. Now, Snapchat has had this for years. Meta has this on theirs. I think Meta is leading the way. I could have done that with Meta. I didn't. I found it useful on the Copilot app. But I can do that with Meta. I think the people that are making this easy and the companies that are making this easy will be the winners that are short term. Now, long term, nobody knows what long term is going to be. I mean, think about browsers. If you were around in the 1990s, Netscape was the browser that you wanted. It wasn't Chrome. And then all of a sudden, Google comes out with Chrome, and it's so much better than any browser. Does anybody have the Microsoft browser? Because that Explorer browser was shipped on every device that they sent out. And it no longer is any kind of default browser. Okay? There is no way that we know exactly what's going to come in. Even the ones that get it in front of you now. Microsoft was a clear winner because they got stuff in front of you. Now, Ballmer was a horrible CEO. Look at the guy making fun of the iPhone. Look at him saying the Zune is only $200. The iPhone's $1,000. Nobody's going to pay for that. They're going to pay for quality, but they want things that work. Okay? Microsoft Copilot, it's working really well, and it's in front of you. Meta AI, it's right in front of you and working. Do not be surprised if Meta or Microsoft comes out with a Maps app, like Google Maps, like Apple Maps. In my mind, that's the next step for Meta, is that they integrate this. They already know stuff about you. They know crazy stuff. I mean, any of us have WhatsApp Messenger. I know with MLS, it's all WhatsApp because nobody wants the bubbles and nobody wants them to have the iMessage. So everybody for work and for outside stuff, we're all using WhatsApp, and that's Meta. So I find it interesting that Microsoft is now one of the leaders. They own a portion of OpenAI. It's Microsoft backed. NVIDIA put money into it. There was just a huge, and I know ARC put money into it. Fryer helped block, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, a lot of people put money into OpenAI. They believe it. Now, I also think that there's a risk to Apple because Johnny Ives and OpenAI are working on a device. We may not, the iPhone may not be the killer device. It's interesting. Bad news for the NASDAQ. I found this interesting because I am in QQQ. I agree with the author. They use QQQM. And the reason I wanted to point this out, they're saying the fourth quarter may be bad. The U.S.-Japanese yen carry trade unwind has impacted QQQM. And it's unlikely to be over. They're saying that Japan unwind trade might go into the fourth quarter, blah, blah, blah. And it will affect QQQ and QQQM. The reason I'm pointing this out is that this particular analyst, most readers will be aware and familiar with Invesco QQQ. I use nearly identical Invesco NASDAQ ETF QQQM as it has slightly lower expense fee of 0.15 versus QQQ's 0.2. If you are buying long-term, don't worry about changing your QQQ to QQQM. Don't do that. But if you're buying for the long term and you're sitting there for years, just buy QQQM. Okay? It's literally identical. If we go over here and we chart and we select the symbols and we take out that and we just type in QQQ, I think it's less than a few years old. So we might have some issues in looking at the two. But if you look at year to date, it's on top of each other. I mean, it's just on top of each other. If you go 1 year, 33.44 on QQQM, QQQ 33.41, 3 years, same thing. I mean, it's literally the same thing. It's less than 1%. Now, when you go 5 years, you're seeing a little difference, and that's because QQQM doesn't go back 5 years. That's the only difference. But when you go 3 years and anything under, it's literally the same thing. It's just got less of an expense. So I thought it was important to point out. Again, you can look at that Japanese unwind trade thing. I know we have some HIMSS fans here, not erectile dysfunction fans, but this is a GLP-1. Now, remember, HIMSS is selling GLP-1 based on shortages of GLP-1. Eli Lilly GLP-1 shortage officially ends. HIMSS is down 20%. I think it's down 11% right now. It was down 20%. Expect volatility. But there's a reason I don't like HIMSS is because they haven't developed this, and they will likely get a court injunction to stop doing the compounding once the shortage is done. That's why they're down so much. But, again, HIMSS, I think, is a marketing company. It's overvalued. If you want GLP-1, I would just go for Lilly. Again, I would just go for Lilly. Shortage has been, this is, we talked about Michael Wiggins. He did, I think it was AppLovin, APP. He's had a strong buy on HIMSS since December 19, 2023. He's up 116%, 116% since then. So he knows his stuff. He's doing well in this one. He reiterates his strong buy on this. Now, I don't know what his price target is. I don't exactly know what it is, but you can read that. Again, HIMS, I just wanted to bring that up as risk. Now, one analysis that I thought was interesting, Celestica, dirt cheap stock. I would agree. This is on my personal watch list. I think tomorrow's is going to be how I set up tomorrow's podcast about how I set up watch lists, what I do. It might be a paid newsletter thing that I do over the weekend. I still got to iron it out. But CLS is one that is absolutely on my list. CLS has underperformed the market since it peaked in July 2024. CLS is exposed to secular AI growth tailwinds. AI investors should remain focused on these opportunities. Look at this analyst, okay? They said buy it. Here on March 19th, they're up 17%. They said buy it down here. They are down 14% since then. They're saying buy it again. CLS is one that I have on my watch list. I don't think it's a buy. I don't know that I have alerts on this one. It was a buy here at 45. I'd say it's turning over. You're seeing it the last couple of times. It's used that 200-day. We're still positive. You had this death cross here. If we go to the weekly, you're pulling back to the 50-day. So I would add it anywhere between 42 and 50 bucks. That's where I would add it, because I do think that, if we go and look at the actual valuation of this, it's a little bit extended, but most stuff is. The valuation, it's not crazy. 15 times, growth, it's not great. 13%. Levered free cash flow up 28%. It's okay. Profitability, gross profit margin only 10%. They don't have pricing power. That's the problem. But the momentum, fantastic. 106% over 1 year. Your short term, you're down. You want to buy on strength. So make sure you have a good price. We can look at the Wall Street. There's 9 analysts that cover this. 62 bucks. Yes, they've chased it up, but it's pulled back. Wait for their earnings to come out. When's their earnings? Let's see. Their next earnings are October 21st. Wait for the next earnings. But I like that stock. It's on my watch list. I plan to add to it. I just don't own any of it right now. Let's talk about education, because Buffett talked about diversifying. I always talk about diversifying with ETFs. This is part of what I mean. 2 views on diversification. If you're a professional and have confidence, then I would advocate lots of concentration. Again, I am just me. I don't have 50 analysts that work for me. Those are the people who start ETFs. Those are the people who can do diversification. Those are the people that I trust doing diversification by investing in the ETFs. For everyone else, it's not your game. Participate in total diversification. If it's your game, diversification doesn't make sense. It's crazy to put money into your 20th choice rather than your first choice. Yes, add to your winners. Don't start a new position just because you hear about the hot stock and I'm going to make it 50% of my portfolio. Don't. Charlie and I operated with mostly 5 positions. If I were running 50, 100, $200 million, I would have 80% in 5 positions with 25% for the largest. In 1964, I found a position I was willing to go heavier into, up 40%. I told investors they could pull their money out. None did. The position was American Express. In 1951, I put the bulk of my net worth into Geico. Later in 1998, LTCM was in trouble. With the spread between the on-the-run versus off-the-run 30-year Treasury bonds, I would have been willing to put 75% of my portfolio into it. There were various times I've grown up to 75% even in the percent in the last few years. If it's your game, you really know your business, you can load up. Again, know the stocks that make up the large portion of your portfolio. Make sure that you have that elevator pitch. But he's talking about, you shouldn't have 30 positions you don't have enough time in your day to manage 30 positions. Diversification is not a good. Use the ETFs to help you diversify. And if you're not doing that well with your single stock picks, add more to your diversification in VOO. Add more to your diversification in VTI. Go with QQQ. Go with one of those. It's an important lesson from the greatest investor of all time. Okay? Let's talk about some social requests. First social request. Hey, Gary, can you please review Micron? This is from Pavan from the Facebook group. I see a lot of value, especially going by seeking alpha ratings. Wanted to start a position with a time frame of 2 to 3 months. Can you share your thoughts, especially with the port strikes? I'm not sure how it's going to impact a stock like Micron. I don't know that it impacts Micron per se. The port, remember, it's the East Coast ports that are shut down. We can still get stuff in through the West Coast ports. It will affect Micron in importing the materials, but I think they have most of their fab stuff here in the U.S. I could be wrong about that. Do your due diligence. I thought this article was interesting. Bottom 5 Q3 performers. Micron's down at 24.49%. So we can take a look at Micron. You said the Seeking Alpha stuff. It's a strong buy from Wall Street, and Wall Street has 38 analysts that cover it, okay? Their average price target is 146. They have started to bring it down. Be aware that when I see things like this where it starts to come down, I get a little bit nervous there, okay? We saw it pop on earnings. We got up to 109. We saw it pop. We'll look at the chart. But the valuation isn't nuts. But understand, they are projected to make money. Trailing 12 months, they have not made money. They are projected to make money. So that's where it gets cheap. You have to believe that they're going to continue to expand. Okay? Their PEG ratio going forward is cheap. If you believe them, then you can absolutely invest in this one. Now, their profitability, 22% margin when the sectors has a 49%. Okay? This is important. They do not have pricing power. That's what that means. If they had pricing power, then that margin would be at 49% with the rest of the sector. They don't have pricing power. And that's the problem with getting into profitability. They don't have pricing power. So I don't know enough about chips, but that's what that tells me. And so when you look at the momentum of this, down 24% in 3 months. So if you're looking at 2 to 3 months, your 3-month performance right now wouldn't say, oh my God, that's a great investment, because you're looking at the shorter end, okay? The shorter end. If you're looking to put money into 9 months or 1 year, the longer end looks decent. But 2 to 3 months, Pavan, I would say no. Now you look at the revisions, because that's 90 days. That's your 2 to 3 months. So analysts, 11 up, 14 down. You got more people saying their earnings per share are going to go down than up. It's about even on revenue. So in my mind, let's take a look at the chart and let's see what I think of the chart. Fundamentally, I wouldn't say it's super strong. I would say it's okay, but I wouldn't say it's super strong. I would argue that you probably have an opportunity, but you'd have to know more about the chip space than I do currently, because I just don't know about the chip space enough to say, hey, Micron makes these chips. They do this particularly, and this is why you're going to need to invest in it. Now, when we look at the 4-hour algorithm, it makes you 95% over the last 2 years. You make 101% buying and holding. That's close enough for me to say, hey, for a 2 to 3 month swing, I think I can rely on that algorithm. Now, let's look at this, because this is important. They had good earnings last time. It was a good quarter. What happened? We gapped up from 96 all the way up to the high was, it looks like 114. You've given it up. You're back at 99. I think you're more likely to go back to this 97. Now, we talked about this 97. I think that's on the weekly. Yeah, 97 is on the weekly. Look at that, okay? If that turns into support, and this candle today, the low is 98.94. If this turns into support on the weekly, then yes, you could go higher. But if this breaks down and we get lower, like we did back here in September, if it breaks down and we get lower, that's not support. You can be looking at 90 as your next support level. Then you could be looking at 78 as your next support level. So if you're going to invest in this, I would absolutely have a stop loss at 97. Buy it at 100. Have your stop loss at 97. Okay, you might get stopped out, but I do think that the upside might benefit from that. Do I think it's going to take 2 to 3 months? I don't know. You don't know what earnings are going to come out with now. I mean, they're already through their catalyst. But look at how the MACD has reset on that one. On the weekly, it's completely come down. So do I think you can time this one? No. I'd probably wait for an entry on the 4-hour algorithm. And right now it has you in. Your average win looks like 9.63%. And it had you in at 88. So what's it up now? It's up 11%. I don't think you need to rush into this. There's no real catalyst on this. So in my mind, again, just because it's one of the bottom level stocks and it's beaten down, I don't know that I'd rush into it. But if you're going to do it, I'd buy it at 100. Think that 97, if we break 97, maybe you want to put it at 95, your stop loss. But I'd have that stop loss there because I think as you go down, I don't think there's a bottom on this one. They're not making money. That's the biggest issue that I have with them. So let's talk about now. I got a question from Adios America on Twitter. I was talking about how it's just crazy here in Georgia with a chemical fire that's got chlorine clouds. We have a hurricane, blah, blah, blah. You can live anywhere in the world and do what you do. Why Atlanta? Love the podcast. Don't like Atlanta or Georgia, but to each his own. I will tell you, Adios America. I moved to Atlanta in 2013. It was for the job. Wasn't super fan. I moved from Florida. I've lived in California, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. My parents lived in Virginia, so I spent a lot of time in Virginia. I've lived all over. I will tell you, I don't like cold weather. Georgia, pretty moderate. I mean, we get some snow. There's not a ton. If I want snow, I can go up into the mountains in North Georgia. I live 20, 30 minutes from the airport. If you've ever lived in a city that doesn't have the largest airport in the world, which Atlanta is, at least the United States, I think it's one of the largest in the world, I can get to anywhere here without a connecting flight. So it helps. That helps. A city of millions of people. We get the best concerts. I have good culture here. And I live in a house that I actually like, close to everything that I need. I am walking distance to restaurants. I am walking distance to my favorite vegan place. It's called Kale Me Crazy. I'm walking distance to pizza. I'm walking distance to Publix if I want some groceries. There are times when I don't leave my house other than to go to the Silver Comet Trail, which I absolutely love. It's a rail trail here. And if I want to go up into the mountains, it's an hour drive up into the mountains. I can even go to Kennesaw Mountain, which is about a half hour away, and get 1,000 feet of vertical. So why do I like Atlanta? That's the reason. On the East Coast, there's no other city that provides me something like that where I can get in to a house as nice as I have for that price. And I am semi-stuck. I could live anywhere in the world. I do have some issues because I'm not a W-2 employee. And that's, remember, as a W-2 employee, you can get a mortgage anytime you want. As a self-employed person, I will tell you, I went to redo my mortgage, and I was denied. I was denied refinancing my mortgage. I could pay off that mortgage 15, 30 times over. The mortgage, it wasn't the money. It was about refinancing to a lower rate. And this was after I had retired. And they wanted 2 pay stubs. And I said, well, I don't have 2 pay stubs. I got my brokerage account. Can't do it. Can't refinance. I couldn't get a lower rate. I'm at 4.5% on my mortgage. I couldn't get a lower rate at the times when rates were lower because I didn't have W-2. And I could have paid off the mortgage. So I am stuck in a way, but I do like it here. It's nice. Again, it's a good lifestyle. Everybody has things that they like. I love Georgia. I have the mountains up there. I have beaches. I'm looking at a second house maybe in Florida because, again, the 5% state income tax bothers me because every time I sell taxes, I may get no capital gains tax from federal, but I have to pay 5% locally. So it does bother me a little bit. And if I had a house in Florida and spent 6 months there, I could avoid that 5%. At certain point, it does make sense for me to buy something in Florida just to save that 5% because it might actually just pay for itself. So why Georgia? There's some reasons, but that's it. Now let's talk about scans. CRM. This is one that is, it's not in the core portfolio. We've gone over ServiceNow versus CRM. I own this one personally, okay? I like it. Buying in here at 251, it was smart. I like this stock. It is expensive. CRM is expensive. Now, when you look at CRM versus ServiceNow, I think that's going to pull up on peers. No, let's edit the symbols and let's look at ServiceNow. We're going to get rid of SAP. We're going to get rid of Adobe. We're going to get rid of Intuit. We're going to get rid of all of that, and we're just going to look at ServiceNow. It's expensive. Both of these are expensive. Now, ServiceNow has outperformed. Why did it do that? No. Okay, there we go. Let's look at the valuation of these. Okay, ServiceNow, or I'm sorry, CRM 27, ServiceNow 63. You're paying up for ServiceNow. You're paying up for ServiceNow. Now, I like this one. I'm sitting here holding it. But when you look at the 3 year, ServiceNow is up 43%. CRM's up 3%. Is this the time that ServiceNow gets back up there? You can see the quant has ServiceNow as a strong buy. Wall Street has it as a strong buy. CRM is just a buy. So I like ServiceNow. They don't have a dividend. The growth, that's what you're paying for, 24% revenue growth year over year. That's why you're paying more of a PE than CRM. Profitability, 79% and 76%. Again, we talked about gross profit margin. These guys have pricing power. And software with AI, that's going to be the issue. Is this going to continue at that high rate? Are they going to have pricing power? Are they going to have to cut their stuff? But CRM gets across up here. It could go for a second run. That's it. NTAP, which is in our watch list. NTAP, this is NetApp. This one has been really, really volatile. This one, you can make 101% using the algorithm. This one gets you in for another one. We just had the death cross. Would I get into this one? Let's see what the valuation of NTAP is. NTAP, the valuation a little bit extended. Again, this is technology hardware. 17 times earnings. That's kind of average. Now, the PEG ratio, it's expensive because their growth isn't there. They're only growing revenue year over year 2%. Leverage free cash flow, they're losing 3.9%. Now, when you look at profitability, let's see, 71% gross profit margin. They have pricing power. I like that one. So NTAP is on the watch list. Would I add to it here? Probably wait. You know, that gap up there does look juicy, just like the old man's testicles. It looks juicy up there at 131. You got Visa, you got FANG, you got Adobe, you got NextEra Energy, Duke, Abbott, Income ETFs, QQQX, Energy, Cord, Shell, FANG, Leverage DTS, TBT, and AAPD. Now, if you're seeing and you want the 4-hour algorithm, you want the 65-minute algorithm, remember, Trendspider's right there. You see what I did with the quant. The quant rating is you get $30 off in a free 7-day trial when you sign up for the second link right here, Seeking Alpha Premium Exclusive. Again, $30 off. Get it for a year. You get a free 7-day trial. If you don't use it, just drop it after 7 days. The other thing, you don't get a free 7-day trial of this, but if you don't like picking stocks or you're not good at it and you just want a portfolio, again, if you want just a portfolio that has a proven track record, past performance does not guarantee future results, but over the time of this one, since July 1st, 2022, Alpha Pix is up 139%. The S&P is up 38%. It's 2 data-driven stocks each month. They alert you when to sell. They just had another one where they doubled down on a stock that they had picked that's up over like 100%. Multiple sectors. Supermicro, they picked in November 15th, 2022. I know they just picked Sprouts. I know they picked Abercrombie and Finch. Those are stocks that I would never pick. The performance to date has significantly outperformed the S&P. So if you want that one, again, you save $50 by using this third link. Now, if you don't have any charts, you get Webull. I use Webull as my sports betting app. I love it. It's the fourth link there. And again, listen to the song. Sign up for the newsletter. Let us help you grow. It's the sixth link then there. And it's free during the week. You don't have to pay. The only reason I ask people to pay is to support me. If you like my stuff and you like the system that I use, again, the system's super simple. If you have a job, I traded like this for years and I was able to retire. So the system that I use is outlined in the paid and education sections. It's nice and easy. I've started this video course series. I'll probably do it again this weekend. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Okay, 55 minutes. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Okay, remuxing. Larry. Oh, wow, Donnie. You smell it in Auburn? They did tell me I would smell it this morning. I didn't smell it. Morning, Marco. I'm not going to block her, Lewis. Nah, I appreciate when people give me feedback. I just think that So I appreciate when people give me feedback or ask me questions. What I don't appreciate is if you're actually listening and you're not using the tools. Like, for instance, somebody asked me, what's the PE of Apple? Why the F am I going to go and look up the PE of Apple when you can do it? Do financial stocks do well during the rate reduction? Go and ask AI. I'm not a financial guy. What's the best ETF for me to invest in the S&P 500? I don't know. Crazy work. Let me add this to iMovie. Okay. We're gonna take that. I'm gonna get desktop. Old man juicy old man testicles. We went full on, ooh, why is this not colorized? Oh, that's why. I want to get to, there we go, okay. It looks good there. I'm looking at myself. Not in like a creepy way. I'm just, putting essentially what I do is I use iMovie every day, and my workflow is I record it, I throw it into iMovie, and then I export it and I upload it to YouTube, Spotify, blah blah blah. I have a whole workflow. Export next, and we're gonna call this 10.3 pod. Save, and it exports while I talked with you guys because it's 9:45. Let me see the index because I'm probably gonna get off here pretty early. Let's see. Is the market up? Bum bum bum. I'm at 100%. I'm at 91%. Ooh, I'm down. Apple's got to be down. I got an AARP membership renewal notice today. That's depressing. Cleveland Cliffs is down 1.31%. Still in at 12.11. Dell's up 2%. Algorithm got you out, ironically, with a 2% gain. Eli Lilly at 887. Just buy it under 900. I mean, I know the algorithm got you out. Just buy it under 900. Netflix is down at 703. Remember how I talked about old resistance turns to new support? That 700's turning into support. Netflix is reporting on the 17th. Nvidia's up 3%. Oxy is up a little bit. Palantir's up another 2%. Man, that one just doesn't stop. Okay, I'm out of here. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go do stuff. Take my 10 minutes back because I got on 10 minutes early. Okay, see you guys.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. fears.